So here we have the product rule and the quotient rule. Okay, as you can see, the structure is different. For the product rule, you have two functions multiplying to each other. Okay, that's what you have for the product rule. If you don't see a sign between the two functions, there's an invisible multiplication. Okay, bear that in mind. And for the quotient rule, the division is apparent. You must put it. So you can see, we'll see it as the fraction and the bar for the fraction, up and a down. So for the product rule, to differentiate the product rule to find y prime, the structure now is, here it is the general format. You have 1, 2, 2 brackets multiplying plus 1, 2, 2 brackets multiplying plus. So that's the general format for the product rule. For the quotient rule now, the format is similar. You have 2 brackets multiplying, but instead of a plus, you have a minus. And 2 brackets multiplying. And further now, you have a division sign with a square in the denominator. But the only similarity, the numerator, you have 4 brackets, 2 brackets multiplying, separating. But one is a plus, one is a minus. Okay. So in that first bracket, for the product, you have an option. But in the first bracket, for the quotient, you don't have an option. You must put the denominator function here. You must put the denominator function in the first bracket. You must carry forward the denominator function. So just for similarity, you can maintain that as a rule. Carry forward the denominator, the second function. Okay, we can call the top function the first function, and we can call the denominator function the second function. Okay, we can call it the first and the denominator function the second. Okay. For the product now, we can call the top function, or the first function, sorry, the first. Okay, we can call the first function the first. And the second function is second. Okay, because we're reading from left to right. So f of x is the first function and g of x is the second function. So as a rule, you can just carry forward the second function. Carry forward the second function. Doesn't matter for the product rule, but it matters for the quotient rule. You must carry forward the second function. And you differentiate the first function. Okay. F prime of x, f prime of x, okay, plus minus, what you do now, you carry forward the first function now. Now you just carry forward the first function. Carry forward the first function. And now you differentiate the second function. You differentiate the second function here. And here now for the quotient rule, the second function is the denominator function. So now you differentiate the denominator function. And for the product rule, you have applied the product rule. So that's it for the product rule. But for the quotient rule, you have one more thing to do. You have to square the denominator function. Okay, so you can see appreciate the similarities and you can appreciate the differences of the product rule and the quotient rule. So as a general rule, either one you're applying, just carry forward the second function. Just start by saying, well, let's carry forward the second function. That's it. Okay, in the text, they might carry forward the first function for the product rule, but for the quotient rule, you must carry forward the second function. So why not make it a general rule, carry forward the second function? Either product, whether product or quotient, carry forward the second function. Differentiate the first, differentiate the first. Plus for product, minus for quotient. Carry forward this first function now. Here it is, carry forward the first function. Differentiate the second now. And then you're done for product. But then one more thing for the quotient, you have to square the second function. All right. So we have the product rule and the quotient rule, similarities and differences.